As the political standoff over election maps is intensifying, with states fighting over who gets the edge in Congress. Right now, Texas is at the center, where Democrats skipped out to stop a vote that could give Republicans 5 more seats. We're going to be joined right now in the state capitol by Fox's Sarah Allegre. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We are just a week in. How long could the standoff last?
Yeah, hi there, Andy Mack. I mean, it's another day here in Austin, Texas, and several Texas Democrats still a no-show. Many still in states like California, New York as well, Illinois, just trying to block that GOP-led redistricting plan, also trying to evade arrest here in the state. Now, many of those Democrats, though, rallied a little bit earlier today in Chicago, saying despite recent attacks on their party, they're not bowing out.
We will not be intimidated. We will not be bullied into silence, and we will not surrender. Let me be perfectly clear. Texas Democrats are not running away from any fight. We're bringing the fight to the bad guys.
Let's talk about the why here. Control of Congress. It's on the line with all the focus on the 2026 midterms. Republicans hold a slim majority in the House, so even a few more GOP-favored seats in Texas could tip the scales nationally. But Democrats say they won't return to the Capitol until that special session ends next Tuesday. And without 100 members in the chamber, Republicans can't hold a vote. Today, they only had 96. But Governor Abbott says, fine, I'll just keep calling special sessions until they do.
We will either find these missing Democrats over the course of this week and have votes on all these very important matters, or at the end of this week, this current 30-day special session will be gavelled out. And the nanosecond after that happens, I'm going to be calling another special session.
Texas Speaker Dustin Burrows has signed arrest warrants for all the absent Democrats and is teaming up with Texas DPS and even the FBI to try and track them down. But here's the reality. These warrants only have power in the state of Texas. Meanwhile, today at the Capitol, Republican colleagues tell Fox they want their Democratic counterparts to come back, saying there's important work waiting.
Just so disappointed that we're not being able to get to the disaster relief and all the other important business that's just sitting here not getting done because they're playing politics.
And the message from the Democratic side is very costly, though, as well. Every day a Democratic representative doesn't show up to the state capitol, he or she faces that $500 fine. Andy Mack.
Yeah, and some of the tactics that they're not paying them by direct deposit. You have to come and claim those checks for paying. And, of course, they're also talking about how long this could last. In terms of history, do we know anything about this? Because they talk about the killer bees. They talk about other times back in 2021, Democrats have said. Have they alluded to that timeline themselves?
I think we're looking at the response from Governor Abbott. I think calling session after session suggests that this could last much longer than intended, weeks, potentially even months. He has the authority to do so. So I think, Andy Mack, what this is going to shape out to be is really a game of endurance on the Republican side and the Democratic side. The Republicans can apply that political pressure. That's what we're seeing from Governor Abbott. Democrats right now just trying to hold out for as long as they can. So we can expect, this is speculative at this point, that this battle could be weeks and even months.
Yeah, stare down, a kind of staring contest continues on, and we've seen the quorum trying to be called multiple times over the last week, and it feels like the numbers have slowly started to rise. Have we seen any of the Democrats starting to splinter? As the strategy breaking apart at all?
Our Fox colleagues did talk to some Texas Democrats a bit last week, hoping we can get in tomorrow as well and have those conversations. As you said, we're seeing that number rise today. Broke quorum, but we saw 96 people present here. But again, those Texas Democrats say they're trying to hold out for as long as they can. Again, till about August 19th, Andy Mack, that's next Tuesday. But it all depends on what Governor Abbott decides to do. He says after that 30-day gavel breaks, I mean, we could see another special session called once more.
All right, very good. We'll see what happens then. Sarah, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You're reporting. You're on Live Now. Thank you so much. All right, great conversation there. As always, more than a week into this standoff between the Democrats there fleeing the state, the Lonestar State, to avoid a vote on that new congressional map, the redistricting. Let's take you back out to this moment earlier on the Texas floor there. You saw Speaker Dustin Burrows kind of ringing in the bell to start this potential attendance, the quorum. Let's listen into this here on Live Now.
The roll has been called and a quorum is not present. Today, the Calendars Committee placed House Bills 1, 2, 18, 19, and 20, all vital flooding and disaster response measures, on the Tuesday calendar by a unanimous 6-0 vote. These are not symbolic bills. They are critical measures that would expand the powers of the Texas Division of Emergency Management to improve emergency response across the state, create the Texas Interoperability Council, which would help local governments acquire key communication equipment to better coordinate response efforts, assist communities with purchasing and upgrading emergency communication systems, require outdoor campground facilities to have a flood disaster plan, and create public protections against fraudulent bad actors trying to solicit charitable donations after a disaster. Those bills are set to be on the floor tomorrow. And I know those of us present are eager to take action on them. The only thing standing between Texas and real disaster relief is whether our absent colleagues decide to show up tomorrow. Now, to update you on the process of locating our colleagues and compelling a quorum, the Department of Public Safety has special agents deployed in every region of Texas. The House has deputized dozens of officers and dispatched them across the state. They are set up outside members' homes, conducting surveillance, knocking on doors, calling their phones multiple times a day. So far, no one's home, but the search continues and it will not stop. We also want to thank the public. Many have submitted tips about whereabouts of absent members. For example, over the weekend, we received word of a rally in Fort Worth where a couple of absent members were allegedly making appearance. We took this as actionable intelligence, and DPS was dispatched immediately. Although in this instance, members did not end up being physically present at the event, we will keep following every credible lead until these members return. I have asked DPS to establish a tip line to receive information and leads regarding members' whereabouts if they happen to be in the state. That phone number is 866-786-5972. Let me repeat that for those who wanted to get out a pen and write it down. 866-786-5972. Understand that we are keeping receipts for every gallon of gas, every mile traveled, and every hour of overtime associated with the pursuit of these missing members. Under Rule 5, Section 3 of the House Rules, those breaking quorum will be held financially responsible for the costs they've created, not the taxpayers. To those absent members, you can go to another city, another state, even another time zone, but you cannot escape your responsibility to the people of Texas. Eventually, you will be here. Tomorrow, when the gavel drops, the question is simple. Will you be in that chair to vote for these critical disaster recovery bills, or will you be remembered as one who did not show up? The choice is yours. Members, the call of the House remains in force. Under House rules, the House may adjourn from day to day. I will provide written permission to be entered in today's journal for each member registered as present during today's session to leave the chamber and return at 10 a.m. Tuesday. Mr. Guerin moves the House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Tuesday. Is there objection? I hear none. House stands adjourned.
All right, just listening in there, saying they're following any credible lead to potentially corral some of those Texas Democrats and bring them back to the State House to fill that quorum, to reach the threshold in which they're able to vote on some of these key movements, including funding for relief efforts following the catastrophic flooding in the Hill Country, but also that new congressional map. I'm Andy Mack. We're back after this.